Mike Van and Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Arich here, Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back as we continue on as the High Elves. The last alliance has moved. The army has left Ostinithil, and it is now armoured and ready to go. We're going to take Dunlarak on the next turn, and we're about to probably be attacked at Bail, or well, the pronunciation of that. Cathalan is coming, and he has... this army is led by an actual person, which is rare, or a general rather, sorry. So they might actually do relatively well, but in any event, they're not going to stop High Lord Elrond the Conqueror and his last alliance army. We've got a large fleet now knocking around there, not doing anything. We were looking for a port to besiege, but I don't think Dunland have any holds on the water anymore that we can actually siege.
Yes, sir.
So that's going to come to nothing. So I think we're on an end turn, and we shall await Dunland's attack. In the previous lore video that went up on Wednesday, I mentioned that Finrod Felagund had died, and thus the Nauglamir had passed out of his possession, and I confused him with Fingolfin. And not in the fact that he died or that he'd given up the Nauglamir, but because he is not the elf that fights Melkor, Fingolfin is. There's too many F-named elves in the first age for a casual observer, and Finrod, Fingolfin, and Finarfin I frequently get mixed up. So that was wrong. But I did correct myself in comments wherever possible to reflect that. Right, Nendir versus Conan the Barbarian and Cathalan. If we actually look at his army, though, it is very much made up of the usual sort of trash Dunlending forces. There's a couple of berserk units in there that might do some damage. Conan is just trash, except himself. If we are to win this, it'll be because we best them in melee, but we want to try and make sure that our javelin forces get every single one of their javelins off before the enemy meets them in melee. That's a very cool picture. I like it when that one comes up. That is a representation of the halls of Mandos and the souls to be judged passing before him. And he looks rather bored there, really, doesn't he? Oh, of course, sorry. I'm about to maneuver my units into position. I'm remembering that they're coming out of the gate, so we have to just take them straight on. Oh, well, that's interesting. So Conan is going to attack us and die rather easily. Oh, we could try and... we'd never make it to there before they arrive and get through. We could try and push for the square, but we'd have to get to the gate, either get the army through the gate. We can't bash down the wall on this settlement. You can only go through the gate. And then we'd have to run to the back, all while they just walk in. So I don't think we'll go for that. We shall pull back to the hill behind us and defend here. That's the only long spear unit, isn't it? Yeah. Right, you three are going to make up the defensive line. We've got 2 archer units. That is not ideal. Only 2 archer units. You're going to come right at the back here. All 4 of you, for now, make your way across the centre, but don't fire your javelins. Do not waste yourselves on the army coming out of that city. We will deal with them differently. Right, if everyone pulls back, we shall deal with them primarily. Oh, actually, I wonder what they'll do. We'll have to wait and see what they do. That army will almost certainly move over and assist, and it already is indeed. Oh, they've got some cavalry coming as well. But they are going to carve across the land. That gives us a nice little stamina advantage. By the time our army is set up and has turned and faced our enemy, the main bulk of their force will have travelled across most of the world. With the world being this little map, of course. Right, who are you? Clan Axeman. Greetings, Clan Axeman. You meet your fate this day. And in they go. I don't think... oh, we have got 1 unit of Eldarinwe Roquen in the other army. The Last Alliance army. And when we see those charge into an enemy unit, it's going to be glorious. Oh, we lost 3 that time because that unit has a spear. Oh, hello! And did one man get left behind? Yeah, he's... even elves fall when the enemy comes. If I pull back to there, the archers can get a couple of shots off on those cav if possible. Or do we bother with that, or should we just charge them? Spears out, elves. Spears out. Oh, look how good they look. Calaquendi lords. Nice. Mithlon nobles looking resplendent as well. As the first arrows fire into the Dunlending horse. Right, you are going to have to turn and charge them. And then it's going to be something, I'm afraid, of a one-on-one duel against them. That's a huge waste of our forces. You go and finish those. Oh, look, yeah, look, loads. We lost loads.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Throw. Nice. They've obviously researched ballistics. We have lost way too way too many cavalry units to Dunlending horsemen of all things. Are you good against other cavalry? No. And look how garbage your stats are. How on earth have we lost that many? That is a very sad day indeed. They can do what they like now, to be honest. Whichever unit they charge, they'll die. So go wherever you want to go. That's disappointing to have lost that much cavalry, though. Right, Javed forces. Move yourself further down to support the front line.
If we continue like this,
and then feel free
the enemy.
to throw your javelins. I haven't moved you all as one. We've missed someone. Chieftain's bodyguard is a good target for javelins, so cavalry, let's get you over this side. No, actually. Stop throwing, stop throwing, stop throwing. Alright, cavalry, get over here. Let's speed her up. Why are the clan axemen just standing still?
Only half the enemy force remains.
Right, now, with the enemy fully in range, you are free to loose at will. Once every javelin has been thrown, we shall move you around and form up into a nice solid footman wall to support the front line. These two have thrown all of their javelins. They're ready to go. Which is good, because the enemy is really taking interest on that left-hand flank. Just kill what you can. 22% of the enemy has died, only 5% of our own. Dunland's finest. Kick him into gear. That was damn close. Well done, Ben. Escaping wonderfully. Right, position yourselves and get ready. You've now thrown all of your javelins. No, you've still got a few to go. Keep the archers firing. Particularly on those chieftain bodyguards, if you would. That's wonderful. You can hit those spearmen, clan axemen and Dunlending berserkers. You target those. We've got to keep our eye on that. Don't watch that situation with interest. A number of the enemy forces have sort of held back and are coming in really slowly up here, but I didn't think they had any siege. Ah, they're pike units all in pike wall. Right, so once the main bulk of the enemy is dead, there'll be a secondary wave of pike units. Fools. So this is all we actually have to face for now. Chieftain's bodyguards still have quite a few there. Let's try and get the cavalry involved then. You can both shoot at whatever you like. You go over for those clan hunters. You go and kill that student's bodyguard. Student's bodyguard? Chieftain's bodyguard. Right, let's speed her up. Did that unit actually stop and fight you? Yes, they did. The whole army has come up on that side. Move around. One of the chieftains is about to die. The nobles are now free. hit every unit that you can on the end there. Get the bodyguards through.
Our men have slain the enemy general.
Ah, perfect.
Without him, his troops will lose their will. The enemy army flees the field. Pursue
Conan,
and
I
run them
assume.
down.
Yep, Conan is gone. All of you hit those chieftain's bodyguard. You can hit those bandits. You keep running through, keep running through. I'll probably see the bandits punch through. You target them, please. 21 chieftain's bodyguard remain. We've got to get over and support our brothers on the far end who are holding admirably as they are surrounded utterly by the hordes of Dunland. Not really hordes though, is it? They're quite repleted. Depleted, sorry, not repleted. Oh no, you can fight them. Cavalry. Go and support. Hit those berserkers in the back. Go and get involved.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
And another general dies.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
And we are
They have
seeing
lost half their men.
exactly as we expected. Right, all units, except for you, pull up on top of this hill. Except for the riders who can go and capture everything that's now routing. Oh, Dunland. Oh, the AI. There have been some developments on the AI front, courtesy, I'm very pleased to say, of one of our beta testers, a gentleman who's been with us for a very long time. Orc Lover is his name. And you will not be surprised to learn that he particularly likes evil factions. Which is helpful, because then we have someone who actually tests evil factions for us. But Orc Lover has done some tinkering with a certain file, which suggests excellent changes could come to the AI's understanding or preparation of battle. Up until now, the AI has been set to never attack until it has at least 1-to-1 odds. This, of course, creates situations whereby the AI thinks, owing to the auto-resolve, that it has 1-to-1 odds, so it will attack you, when in truth it has no hope of succeeding and just wipes itself out against your superior force. However, if we change it, and Orc Lover has done some tests, but if we change it to certain values, then there's suggestion that if we change it so the AI basically has to outnumber you slightly. I think Orc Lover said something about 5-6 or something like that being the peak
Victory will be ours.
rate. But if we change it anyway so that the AI won't attack until it at least outnumbers you a little bit, then it creates situations where the AI pulls its army together in better situations. So rather than have lots of little armies running around because it's constantly calculating auto-resolves and thinking, oh, I can beat that, I can beat this, it will instead pull its forces together to create
like this, we will
bigger one-off armies. Why are you just letting them run through you? Go and capture them, you absolute morons. Like, just hit them with your hand if you haven't got a sword with you. Oh, God, you're annoying. Look, they're just all standing together having a brew. Like, come on, friends. And now we've got farmhand pikemen, which we can't charge directly into because they will kill us. And because I've not paid attention, we've now got to wait for our entire army to make its way down the hill to attack that farmhand pike unit.
If we continue like this, we will smash them.
Oh, and most of the enemy is recuperating, regrouping, and returning to battle. Who's first to arrive? Calaquendi Lords. Hit them in the side. Reinforcements arrive, and then we break them with a cavalry charge. We will fight as one.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Let's have the avenue. A unit is continuing to fight on. So we have to break through.
The enemy
yes, thank goodness for that.
Is utterly vanquished. Let all who remember this day remember it as the day of our most glorious victory.
The Dunedain bodyguards under Twin XYZ actually got the most kills, 273. And then in second place jointly were two sets of Lindell Mariners who both killed 238. But the top set took 160 prisoners, so they did a little better. Unfortunately, our Emmanuel riders were good, but we nullified them a little by commanding them poorly and letting them die against the Dunlending cavalry, which I was really surprised at. They massively outclassed Dunlending cavalry, and it's just an example of why cavalry is poor in melee, regardless of what it is. The only time I think cavalry staying in melee really works in your favour is if you've got a cavalry unit that is good against other cavalry units fighting in melee against another cavalry unit. Or if you have two cavalry units fighting and yours has a lot more men.
We must defend these lands.
We shall kill them all. A burning pile of Dunlending bodies shall mark the roads and crossings of the land as we march on Isengard, and put down these fools who rose in service to him, the great betrayer. Oh, thank you. The council is very pleased with my actions, and so we shall put the inordinate amount of money we've got into recruiting more elite units. They get free upkeep anyway, so it's fine. Oh, and on a Rod, you're not very happy with us. Let's take a hall of music and chuck an armory in for good measure. That'll make you like me a bit more. Osnethiel is getting a Builders Guild house. And after that, we could really do with an artist studio. So we can actually use you. Ah, Dunland have pulled an army out of nowhere. Well, they've pulled the Dunlarak army out, which is very, very silly.
Keep them off balance.
We'll maintain that siege. We'll see how well and how long we can keep it up for. Oh, we can retrain for some reason. Oh, is that Bladesmiths? I'm sure it is. Let's build the roads. That's all we're really interested in. And Elra here, you are not a very good governor by the looks of things.
Elves, like the wind.
We now border and keep in check Tharbad. Not Tharbad, Enedwythe, where we will build an armory in case we need it. We just put an artist studio. But now, we must unfortunately end the turn again, as Dunland are whittled down to their last remaining provinces. If I can help it, I won't fight with the last Alliance army until we are standing before the very doors of the Orthanc itself. I want them to stay at peak physical condition, and I don't want to waste them on a bunch of hillman peasants. So I shall try to keep the army safe for now. And we shall head south. But they will almost certainly attack us in Dunlarak.
It's an invasion!
Oh, we didn't get our troops in time. If Imladris falls, I should be very disappointed. We must be closing in on 15 regions now, surely. One of those was the chieftain of Dunland. Ah, no. Someone else has just killed the Dunlanding army. I think.
Come, my brothers. Over here, elves.
Also, we don't want to keep... Oh, no. I didn't have that one. Ah, but Southern Dunland is still held by Dunland, so... Merge together what we can. We'll take all of you except for... Leave them behind. And the rest of you, come.
Over here, elves. We will need that body.
To Southern Dunland. And the border of this realm. I think... I don't have knowledge because I don't have sight range. Can anyone get me a spy? Oh, yes, Austin Ithiel, thank you. I will take your... Hey, what are you up to there, Sunshine? I'm not sure we have...
I'm on duty.
I'm on duty. I'm not sure that you nor I have an alliance, and we definitely do not have rights of passage. Khazad-dûm. We have trade rights, and our relations are good. But I didn't say you could go walking through my lands. What are we up against here? Probably trash. And what have we got in defense? 2 units of Dunedain Wardens and 11 Emmanuel Riders. Joder. It's not looking good for Imladris. We've got 2 of the worst possible units defending the location. We shall have to hold tight. Now, someone has suggested that with the release of the latest DLC for Warhammer, that my game may no longer work. Now, if that is the case, given that the mod seems to be throwing us up against trash army after trash army after trash army, And given the fact that we haven't really come up against any threats or any challenges, nor too much diversity, to be honest, I am very willing to instead replace Marcus Wolfart's campaign with something that's got a bit more punch to it. If, of course, the outcome really is that the game won't work. Now, I can't verify that until I try. But that's what my thinking is at the moment. I'd like to carry Warhammer on because I'm really enjoying playing it, and so it links to this, so I'd like to play it for YouTube. It helps keep my interest as well because I then play it over a longer time. But anyway, turning back to this game, Huntmaster Fionen, he has come at us with what is almost certainly a last stand supported army, because there are 3 Eisenmach Axemen, 2 Wolf's Pikes, 2 Wolf's Swords, and some Clan Hunters. I can't imagine he's trained that army. Now that army, there's a very, very, very strong suggestion this army outclasses us. And I think that Nendir may well find death on the field of Dunland here. Nendir, the son of Elrahir, his grandfather standing but only a day's march away with an army that will make Dunland surrender at the very sight of it. Nendir may well die beneath the shadow of that great army. But he's not dead yet, and we have one chance to save him. And we shall damn well give it a good go. But Elrahir is also not here. He's currently off scouting in the woodland. Well, this is the best hill we've got. It's not even a hill, is it? We'll just stand on the plain here, I think, actually. Right, archers. They've got some clan hunters. So we'll put you wide formation. Oh, turn the caps lock on. 3 of you. Move in front of them nice and wide. 3 of you. Move in front of them. No, that's a really shoddy formation. You 3 form up the middle like that. Send the javelins round onto the left to do what they can do, and send the Calaquendi Lords and the Emmanuel Riders, who have recouped almost a full complement of riders, head round onto that side. And we'll see what we can do. Come and have a go, son. Come on. The pikes are the biggest threat. Dunish elite pikes. Bit of a challenge. There's Dunland's mail-clad warriors. Thundering across the plain. Now, too. I think this. I can't remember your surname, but your first name was definitely Max. There was a large discussion going on in the comments of the Nogrod and Belagost video about the existence of plate armor in Middle-earth and the fact that there isn't plate armor in Middle-earth, and it's really stupid of the films to have shown it. And whilst I can get behind the that viewpoint from a purist standpoint, I just unfortunately don't give it any weight. And to be honest, I don't really care that they show plate mail in the films, because the chief reason being, for me, if every single army was outfitted in the similar gear, it would look so boring. And that particularly makes reference in the mod, for example. So imagine this unit walking in front of you now is the peak of armor class in the entire world. So Dwarven, Elven, Gondorian, Ardanium, no matter who they are, they would be wearing that kind of armor. Now imagine that instead of having this sort of sash over their shoulders and then the metal plate in the middle, they just have the white tree of Gondor on a clothing on top of it. Imagine that for almost every unit, but then change the icon to be whichever faction it is from, and that is basically the situation you arrive at. I absolutely understand and get behind why the movies differentiated the armor so massively, and made the armor look so so grand. I never really understand why people get so irate about someone misquoting Tolkien, for the sole reason being it is made up. It does not exist. I can understand someone getting annoyed about a show misrepresenting history, because then you are teaching people incorrect facts. You are telling them that you are basically making up lies about something that actually happened, which then could well skew their view on other aspects of that, I don't know, that nation, that event, that anything. Knowledge is absolute power, and to have an understanding of how things actually were in real life is very, very useful. But in a fantasy setting, what does it matter if someone who's only watched the films thinks, oh yeah, the Gondorians, they had plate mail? It just doesn't. It means nothing. So I appreciate the fervour with which people argue this point. But I just cannot get behind it myself, and I just think it is absolutely futile. Find something else to get annoyed about, because it is a waste of time getting annoyed about the way an army is depicted in a fantasy universe. It is not going to come of anything, and you will perpetually and forevermore be annoyed, because it will never change. And I think it's a worthwhile life tip to learn which battles to fight and which to give way. And the armor represented in the Lord of the Rings is a battle to give way, because you're never going to be able to convince the entire world that the depiction was wrong. Now, granted, if you read the books and you pay attention to the types of armor they wear, it is incorrect. It's fairly easily noticed. But even if you've read the books a few times, unless you are actively looking out for the armor, you would just not pay attention to what types of armor they're wearing. And so I really don't think you can hold it against people for not bothering to look into what type of armor they wear. I just think you're expecting too much of people, unfairly, in my opinion. Anyway, we've hit the clan hunters. We're fighting out here. They've got their bodyguards still in the game, of course. The axemen are making mincemeat of our army.
Our foes appear to be gaining the upper hand in this battle.
I am really not expecting victory, but actually, if you turn and hit up there and free up the mariners... damn it, when you fight against good units, you charge your cavalry in expecting the enemy to melt, and they damn well fight on. It's like, what is this nonsense? Not only are they fighting on up there, but they're actually winning as well.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Oh dear, they've made it to the archers. Yeah, this is going to be a loss. This is definitely going to be a loss. We have no hope of countering what is still coming. No, it is withdraw while you all still can. You can't withdraw. Why can't you withdraw? Oh, damn.
For defeat seems almost certain.
Damn, blast and damn and blast. Right, go over and hit those axemen. Pull out. Go again. Pull back out. Into the archers. Nice. Pull across. Oh, hang on. We've got success down here.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Quit your whining. There's always a risk.
The enemy general lies dead.
With their huntmaster killed, that'll have a massive blow against their morale. Although their units are good, their units fight on, and our units are dying by the number. I'm not really keen on charging Eisenbach Axemen in the front, but it's all we've really got at the moment. There were 53. We punched through, and there are now 17 leaving the field. Right, hit those pikes in the side. They hate being flanked.
Something changes in the course of battle.
Nope, you've just died.
Almost certain.
Pull down over here. Go over and hit those. They should rout.
Our army is tired.
Yes. Don't get caught up in that rabble over there. Go on, look, they're not even facing the right way this time. And again.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Oh, we can't get those pikes because they're doing this weird dance. An anti-cavalry dance. The cavalry can't hit us if we continually move in circles. They've changed their face and now they're looking to hit our cavalry. Go on, go on. Come on, you daft buggers. Yes! Nendir, get over there! Cavalry, capture them, capture them, capture them. You've done an absolutely excellent service to your countrymen today, Nendir. You will be remembered as one of the finest elves that ever graced the lands of the north. Yes!
Be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory
Capture those last few. Enough of them have already left to tell their tales. I want them dead. I want him dead! Yes. Clear victory. Every single elf bar the 6 riders and Nendir's small retinues died, but it was worth it. This time the riders took 454. Calaquendi Lords taking 152. Damn. Oh, well, that's good, because that means that army won't trouble Elrond, and the chance of him making it through unscathed stays high. But much of that army will now be depleted, and I don't think Nendir is going to be able to capture southern Dunland. He will have to pull back to Bale.
They will not...
Where he's already being... They're coming at him again. Ah, we get 4 units of Elven Defenders. Oh, it will be a doddle. A doddle that we shall fight another day, because that is going to conclude this episode. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Do stay tuned for whatever happens at the weekend regarding either Warhammer or Age of Empires. Probably Warhammer, because I'm not actually here at the weekend to play Age of Empires. But stay tuned in any event if you're keen to. And until we speak again, Navarna den Perimad Melonin, and farewell.